Hello, Jared.
Hi, Alicia.
And welcome, listeners, to another deep dive from Vibrations and Manifestations.
Great to be back.
It feels like we can finally take a breath this morning. It's been such a full week, and I know everyone listening probably feels that too. How are you coming into this deep dive today?
You know, I feel a really profound sense of grounding, it's exactly what this topic needs.
Right.
We're inviting everyone into a quiet space, a centered space, and I think we really have to embody that ourselves first.
I agree 100%. We're trying to move beyond all that surface noise today.
Yeah.
This is the kind of conversation I know people are craving, the one that reminds you that you don't have to, hustle your way to happiness.
And we really want to create a small sanctuary right here, right now.
Mm-hmm.
So wherever you are, driving, walking, maybe you're settled on the couch,
Yeah.
I just invite you to take a slow, gentle breath with us.
Yeah, join us in this.
Inhale, filling your lungs softly. And as you exhale, just let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Let your jaw soften. And just allow the world outside of this moment to fall away, just for a bit.
That grounding it's so crucial. We have to remember that the answers we're all looking for, they don't arrive when we're striving. They arrive in the stillness.
And that's really fitting for the season, isn't it? If
Yeah.
you're listening in the Northern Hemisphere, we're really in the symbolic heart of winter,
Right, the
a
stillness.
season of necessary stillness.
Yeah.
It's when the whole world pulls inward and just slows down to gather its strengths.
And even if you're not,
And even if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, with all that summer light and external energy, this conversation, this deep dive, it carries that inner energy of winter.
that turning inward.
Turning inward, listening beneath all the noise, and really discovering what is quietly and steadily growing inside you.
The natural world knows wisdom doesn't shout.
Mm-hmm.
It whispers. Or maybe it just hums. And that really is the energy we're tapping into today.
It is.
We're diving into a concept that is less about finding a whole new path and more about just remembering the compass you already have.
Yes.
Your deepest yes.
And we need to clarify that right away. Because most of us are operating with, several different kinds of yeses that are actually, they're forms of contraction or deflection.
Absolutely. The deepest yes is maybe best defined by what it is not.
Right.
It is not the impulsive yes, that knee-jerk agreement that's really driven by a fear of missing out or maybe a need to seem decisive.
It is not the anxious yes.
No.
The one you give because you're worried about what the future might look like if you say no, or you're worried about disappointing someone. So you're putting their comfort over your own integrity.
And the big one, the one that trips up so many people. It is not the people-pleasing yes, the one that feels like a necessary sacrifice. You're prioritizing everyone else's needs, their expectations, over that quiet truth that's sitting in your core.
The deepest yes is. It's just entirely different. It's a soul-level recognition.
Soul level.
It's the choice that feels steady and calm and grounded and just undeniably true.
Yeah.
It's the direction that brings that sense of inner coherence.
Yeah.
A match between your actions and your deepest values.
Yeah.
Instead of always looking for outer applause or, external validation.
So our mission for this deep dive is really to give you a shortcut. Practical tools, specific kinds of awareness to help you hear that voice again. That quiet, consistent voice that knows the way.
The voice that is always known.
Always. Beneath all the strategic thinking and all the external noise.
And to really show you how profound that difference is between the clamor and the clarity, let's start with a couple of personal stories.
Yeah.
Stories where we really learn to tell the difference. And often, we learned it the hard way.
Okay, let's unpack this. For years, I was really deep in the world of self-help podcasting, content creation. And the focus was heavily on what we all defined as successful manifestation, which usually meant strategic growth, building an audience,
The metrics.
all the metrics, setting aggressive goals, focusing on business strategy. And the energy was always high octane.
Yeah, I know that energy.
It's always looking forward. It's performance driven. It's all about optimization.
And that's the dominant paradigm in that space, right?
Yeah.
That strategic, high-achieving energy that basically equates striving with success.
Exactly. And, on a surface level, it worked. We saw growth. We hit the benchmarks.
Right.
But there was always this underlying restlessness. The motivation felt less like deep joy and more like just perpetual motion.
Unsettled.
So unsettled. I was measuring success by the numbers on a dashboard, not by the quiet feeling in my chest.
And then as our work here evolved, especially when we started adding these deeper guided segments, something shifted, something in the internal driver of what we were creating.
It really did. The shift happened when we began layering in these specific somatic practices, the guided visualizations, the tools for integration, that whole debug mode concept. And suddenly the focus wasn't on vibrations and manifestations as like a product to be sold or a business to be grown.
It became about service.
It became about service. So when you started focusing on equipping the listener with a real, lasting internal shift, instead of just giving them high-level theory, what did you notice in your own energy?
The change was.
Yeah.
It was immediate, and it was completely physical.
Physical?
Yeah, my mental preoccupation with reach or growth, which was really just my ego screaming for more, it just receded. When the mission became, what does the person listening right now genuinely need to feel peace or clarity? The pressure just lifted.
Wow.
Every single time we leaned into a segment that prioritized empowering you, the listener, over optimizing our metrics, I felt it. It was this profound calm, a warmth just settling, heavy and reliable right in my center.
With rightness.
A deep sense of rightness. Like I'd finally dropped anchor. And that was the deep yes.
That feeling is the differentiator. The deep yes doesn't give you that spike of energy like caffeine or ambition.
No.
It creates gravity. It grounds you.
It feels like coming home.
It really is the difference between a clever idea, one that might get you external success, maybe some applause, but leaves you feeling hollow, and a true idea, one that nourishes your core and just feels sustainable.
And that recognition of a true idea, it doesn't just apply to your career or these huge life choices.
No, it's in the small moments.
It shows up in the subtlest interpersonal moments. I remember this one instance that was kind of the inverse of your strategic thinking. It was purely social intuition.
Okay.
I was at one of those slightly awkward neighborhood gatherings, you know, where everyone's making polite small talk.
Oh, I know them well.
And I usually just default to observing, just kind of taking in the energetic data in the room instead of try to steer the conversation.
You're always processing the room, looking for coherence.
Exactly. But that night, I noticed this one specific person across the room. We maybe said 2 sentences to each other all night. I knew nothing about them.
Right.
But every time my attention drifted, it it settled on them.
Yeah.
And I felt this quiet, persistent signal.
Not excitement.
No, not excitement, not anxiety, which are my usual social triggers. This was just a pure, steady sense of recognition. The thought wasn't dramatic. It was just, there you are, you're important.
That's fascinating. That recognition without any external reason, no story, no shared history.
None.
So how did you know that wasn't just like social wishful thinking or maybe some old psychological pattern of attraction playing out? How do you analytically separate true intuition from those energetic decoys?
That is the most important question. The key was the quality of the feeling.
The quality.
Wishful thinking or, ego-driven attraction, it's sticky, usually has a narrative attached to it. If I talk to them, I'll feel better about myself.
Yeah.
Or they look like they could help me with X, Y, or Z.
Right, there's an agenda.
But this feeling was clean. It was just orientation. It felt like a compass needle finding north steady and undeniable with no performance anxiety, no future projection. It wasn't urgent, but it also wouldn't go away.
So if the impulse had been purely emotional or anxious, your body would have felt it as a spike or a knot.
A tight knot, yeah.
But because it was the deep yes, the sensation was spacious.
Precisely. It was a silent insistence. My mind, of course, kept trying to interfere.
Of course.
This is weird. You don't just approach strangers like that, wait for an opening. But that steady presence of the intuitive feeling, it was louder than my mind's panicked justifications.
And what did that lead you to do?
It led me to do something completely out of character for me.
Okay.
I walked over, tapped him on the shoulder, and I just said, this might sound strange, but I feel like we're supposed to be friends.
Wow. That's a leap of trust, based purely on an inner sense.
It didn't even feel like a leap of courage. It felt like satisfying a necessity. And they smiled and said, I've been watching you, hoping you would come over.
No way.
We connected instantly, and that person became one of the most coherent, deeply nourishing friendships in my life. He just proved that the quiet pull was truer than all the loud fears.
So if we put our stories together, yours about genuine connection, mine about deep service, the distinction in the feeling is, it's everything.
When I look back at that interaction, the difference between the deep yes and all the static is so clear. Fear would have made me contract up.
Yeah.
Don't embarrass yourself.
Right.
Impulse would have said, say something witty or performative.
Make an impression.
Ego would have told me, Make sure they know how interesting you are. But intuition, that deepest yes, it just gave me this steady, silent direction. Go say hello. It was an invitation, not a push.
And crucially, the energy of the deepest yes translates into a physical release.
Mm.
It's like relaxing a muscle you didn't even know you were clenching.
That's the key takeaway we want to anchor for you. The idea is driven by ego or external pressure. They make your heart race, but often it's anxiety disguised as excitement.
Right.
The urgent ideas make you feel like you're perpetually behind, always chasing something. The flashy ideas make you feel impressive, but, fundamentally hollow.
But the true ones, the deepest yes, they do the opposite. They make you feel presence.
Yes.
They anchor you right here in the now. The deepest yes doesn't feel like pushing through a locked door. It feels like the door just opened and you're simply stepping through.
It is quite literally the feeling of exhaling after you've been unconsciously holding your breath for way too long. It is a profound somatic release of pressure.
So let's take that felt experience and translate it into a core teaching.
Okay.
Your deepest yes is alignment, and it's alignment expressed through intuition. We define alignment not as perfection, but as the direction that consistently feels calm instead of frantic.
It's the choice that brings that fundamental sense of inner coherence.
And that coherence is what separates it from every other external motivation. It's so different from the yes that's driven by FOMO or the yes that comes from trying to prove something to a sibling, a critic, some internalized standard of achievement.
It's often the choice that makes the least sense on paper, but feels the most resonant in your body. It's that steady pull towards something that just feels right without needing a 5-point explanation or anybody else's approval.
And if you're paying attention, it shows up somatically.
Always.
When you mentally try on a coherent choice, you feel inner expansion. Your shoulders drop, your chest widens, your breathing deepens.
When you consider a misaligned choice, you feel that instinctive tightening, a contraction in your gut or your shoulders.
The profound truth here is that your body knows before your mind does. And that's not some abstract metaphor. Your body is acting as an internal tuning fork. It vibrates in resonance with your path, and it contracts when something is fundamentally misaligned. You don't have to force clarity or wait for some mystical sign. You just have to listen to the signal your system is constantly transmitting.
And this brings us perfectly to the science and spirit bridge, because we need to ground this intuition in the physical reality of human experience.
Right.
This inner sensing, it isn't just mystical or philosophical, it is embodied intelligence, and it's supported by hard neuroscience.
So the scientific term for this crucial inner sensing is interoception.
Exactly.
We hear that term more and more now, but for anyone listening who might be new to it, how would you define interoception and why it's so relevant to our daily decision-making?
Interoception is the brain's ability to perceive signals that are coming from inside your body.
Okay.
Your heart rate, the stretch in your lung tissue, specific visceral sensations in your gut, muscle tension, temperature, hunger.
So it's the constant feedback loop, the one that informs us of our physical and emotional reality, but it's happening beneath the level of verbal thought.
Exactly. Researchers like Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett, who's done incredible work on constructed emotion, she emphasizes that interoceptive information is the foundational data set for all of our feelings. When we feel anxious, we aren't just thinking anxious thoughts. We're receiving physical data, a fast heart rate, shallow breathing, a tight gut. And our brain constructs the emotion of anxiety or threat based on those signals.
So that means when we talk about a gut feeling related to a decision, it's not vague at all. It's actually rapid-fire physiological data being processed.
Precisely. And this leads right to the concept of somatic intelligence.
The body's wisdom.
The body's wisdom, yeah. It's processing millions of sensory data points faster than our prefrontal cortex can build a logical story around it. We can look at the work of pioneers like Peter Levine and Bessel van der Kolk, who showed how the body holds and processes trauma and emotional experience, signaling safety or threat, often before our conscious mind can even register what's happening.
And this is where the link to decision-making becomes incredibly clear, right? Through the work of Antonio Damasio and his theory of the somatic marker hypothesis.
That is the anchor point. Damasio's work, which he detailed in Descartes' error, it challenged this centuries-old Western idea that rational thought must be separate from and superior to emotion. He demonstrated through studying patients with prefrontal cortex damage. People who could think logically, but had lost the capacity to feel emotion, that they were incapable of making effective, coherent decisions in their real lives.
Because they couldn't emotionally tag the outcomes.
Correct. The somatic marker hypothesis suggests that our experiences, especially those with strong emotional results, positive or negative, they get marked by a corresponding bodily state, a somatic marker.
Okay, so like a memory in the body.
Exactly. For example, if you made a decision that resulted in a painful loss, your body remembers the contraction or tightness that went with that loss. When a similar decision comes up in the future, your body, through interoception, recreates a faint echo of that negative marker before your logical mind has even finished analyzing the pros and cons.
So that subtle pit in your stomach when you're looking at a bad deal isn't just anxiety. It's your entire nervous system screaming, "I've been here before, and this leads to contraction."
It is essential, instantaneous data. The somatic marker guides us away from previously damaging options and toward choices that previously resulted in expansion or relief. Emotion and bodily sensation are not obstacles to sound decision-making. They are, as Damasio proved, absolutely essential for coherent living.
And when you look at this through a spiritual or an energetic lens, the concepts they align perfectly.
Perfectly.
What science calls interoception and somatic markers, spiritual teachers call higher self-communication or energetic alignment.
Exactly. The teachings of Abraham Hicks, for instance, define alignment as feeling relief, ease, and expansion.
Right.
They describe the body as an emotional guidance system, confirming or denying the truth of a desire through the quality of the vibration. When you're aligned, the feeling is flow and expansion. When you're in misalignment, the feeling is resistance or contraction.
It's the same mechanism, whether you frame it as a neural pathway processing somatic markers or as a spirit tuning into its highest frequency, the conclusion is the same. Intuition is not magical guessing. It is reliable, embodied intelligence. It's biological, energetic, emotional, and neural. And when we learn to prioritize feeling the signal over overthinking the narrative, the deepest yes becomes clear, immediate, and unmistakable.
Now that we understand the mechanics, the difference between the clamor and the clarity, and the role of the body as the ultimate receiver, it's time to move into real-time practice.
Yes.
We want to turn this concept of resonance versus pressure into a lived, felt experience for you, which is why we build these deep dives.
We're going to guide you through 3 practices, all designed to help you strengthen this intuitive muscle, using your body as the primary navigational tool.
We'll begin by deepening a familiar concept. Tool 1, the inner room practice. The goal here is to establish an immediate physical contrast between pressure, which is misalignment, and resonance, which is alignment.
As we move through this, there's no need to stop what you're doing, but if you can, just soften your gaze or shift your attention inward a little bit. We're going to intentionally slow down the pacing here to give your system time to register the sensations.
Okay. Begin by imagining an inner room. This is your mental sanctuary. It could be a quiet library, a sunlit studio, a beach house, whatever feels perfectly safe, calm, and private to you.
In this room, notice 2 doors. They're distinct. One door is labeled pressure. The other is labeled resonance. Don't open them yet, just observe them. See the labels.
Now, gently bring to mind one current decision or question that's been causing a little bit of internal friction. It could be small, a social commitment, a potential course of study, a new habit you're thinking about. Just let that question float in the stillness of the room.
We're going to start with contraction. In your imagination, take a very slow, soft step toward the door that's marked pressure. As you stand near it, don't judge it, just notice your body.
Let's take a full, generous minute here. Scan your body from your shoulders down to your gut. What specifically tightens? Is it a clench in your jaw, the tightening across your forehead? Is there a feeling that your breath is catching high up in your chest? Or a subtle contraction in your abdomen?
This is the data of misalignment. This is your body registering the energetic cost of effort that's driven by fear or frantic energy or external obligation. Notice that for a lot of us, there's a tendency to mentally justify standing at this door. We think, well, this path is hard, but it's the right thing to do. Just acknowledge that justification, but keep your focus entirely on the physical feeling. That tightening is information.
Now, slowly, deliberately, step away from that door. Take a deep, intentional breath in and release it with a soft sigh, allowing any residue of that pressure to just drop away.
We're now going to move toward the door marked resonance. Take slow, gentle steps toward the second door. As you stand near it, notice your body again.
This time, what sensation arises? Does your breath naturally deepen without you trying? Do your shoulders drop a little lower than they were a moment ago? Does your chest feel wider, maybe lighter, as if a weight has been lifted? Is there a sense of subtle warmth or steady spaciousness in your core?
This feeling of spaciousness, this profound calm, that is your system recognizing alignment. The deepest yes doesn't live behind that tight, frantic door of pressure. It lives behind resonance, the door that feels inherently spacious and easy to be in.
Stay here for just a few moments and truly let your system register the difference. Notice the contrast between the tightness you felt and the expansion you feel now. That contrast is your intuitive guidance system working perfectly.
Now ask yourself quietly, what feels like coming home right now? You don't need a perfectly formed verbal answer. A simple feeling of direction, an image, or just a subtle pull is enough. That is a true language of intuition.
And as you carry this experience back into the present moment, remember that you didn't think your way to clarity. You felt your way there. You used your body as a tuning fork.
And the beauty of this tool is that you can use it in these tiny checks all day long. Before you send that email, before you agree to that new commitment, pause, pressure, or resonance.
That moment of pause is where your sovereignty is restored.
Now that we've established that physical difference, let's explore how you can use that somatic awareness to test the potential energetic signature of your future choices. This is Tool 2, the Future Echo exercise.
This exercise is all about sensing the after vibration of a choice before you commit to the first step. It's like an energetic pre-check of the long-term coherence.
So bring a major decision you're currently circling to mind. It might involve a big move, a financial commitment, a new path.
We're going to step into the first option. Imagine you've already chosen option A and you're living with that commitment 1 month from now. You don't need to picture specific events, just the general landscape of your life on that path.
Now focus entirely on your body in that future scene. How do you wake up in the morning? Is there an immediate sense of dread, or is there a quiet sense of purpose? How does your chest feel as you start your day? Is it armored and tight, or spacious and receptive? How does your overall energy move through the day? Is it heavy, burdened, sticky, or is it fluid and focused?
Just sense the feeling tone. Are you constantly bracing for the next difficulty, or do you feel like you are standing on solid ground? This is the echo of that future choice resonating in your present body.
And we have to be analytical here. A resonant path is not necessarily an easy path. There might be challenges. But a path of resonance feels like difficulty with inherent strength. A path of pressure feels like difficulty with inherent fragility. Notice which one you are sensing in your body.
Now take a slow breath and gently release the image of Path A. We're not discarding it. We are just gathering pure, non-judgmental data.
And now let's transition to the other option, Path B, visualization. Imagine living with this choice, having committed to this direction 1 month from now.
Repeat that bodily check. How does your body feel inhabiting this path? Focus entirely on the internal landscape. How is your jaw, your stomach? Is there an energetic lightness or a heaviness you can't shake?
Pay close attention to the subtle cues. One future will often feel like constant low-level bracing, holding your breath, tightening your core, always anticipating the next setback. The other often feels like inhabiting yourself more fully. A quiet sense of inner coherence, like your internal system has just snapped into perfect focus.
The feeling that settles most deeply, that sense of coherence, of inner rightness, that is the echo of your deepest yes. It's not promising that the path will be without effort, but it is confirming this will be true for you.
And that quiet inevitability, that's the strongest signal intuition provides. It bypasses the mind's ability to rationalize or fearmonger and simply informs you of the energetic alignment.
Our third practice, Tool 3. The gentle tracking practice moves this awareness out of visualization and into your daily reality. This is how resonance reveals itself over time, through repetition, by becoming a gentle, consistent observer of your own energy flow.
For the next few days, we invite you to become a daily collector of soul data. This is just a 5-minute end-of-day ritual. You can use your journal, a simple note on your phone. You're going to ask yourself 3 simple questions and just write down the honest, immediate answer.
The first question, what gave me energy today? Think about tasks, conversations, or moments that left you feeling actively fuller, even if they required effort. Did a specific interaction light you up? Did working on a particular project make you lose track of time in a joyful way?
The second question, what drained me? This is crucial. What felt heavy, difficult, or left you feeling depleted in a way that sleep doesn't usually fix? Note the difference between a task that was hard but rewarding and a task that was heavy and depleting. That heaviness often signals misalignment or pressure.
And the third question, what stayed with me in a warm way? This isn't just about what you enjoyed. It's about the feeling that lingered, a soft memory, an idea you want to revisit, a sense of peace that you weren't forcing. This lingering warmth is the residual energy of resonance.
And you are not required to fix or judge anything you write down. You are simply collecting honest data from your inner world. You might notice, for example, that certain conversations, even challenging ones, linger with light and feel productive, while other seemingly easy, obligatory tasks feel surprisingly heavy or forgettable.
This repetition is how intuition draws a reliable map. The deepest yes doesn't shout once when you're perfectly still. It hums consistently over time in your daily actions. This practice teaches you to hear that reliable hum above the noise of day-to-day obligation.
And the beautiful result of this gentle tracking is that it naturally shifts your internal focus. You move away from the frantic external question, what should I be doing? To the curious internal observation, what is already trying to happen through me? And that is when choices stop feeling like pressure and start feeling like the effortless flow of alignment.
Now, even with all these tools, we encounter patterns that actively cried out the signal.
Oh, yeah.
Years of social conditioning, old survival strategies that once kept us safe, and the habit of overthinking can muffle the deepest yes until it is barely audible.
We call those patterns the static, and this is the moment for essential maintenance. It's time for manifestation debug mode.
Clear that static and tune into magic.
The debug mode is not a fix, it is a restoration. It is about removing the interference so your inherent knowing can break through the noise. And it's important to recognize the signs that you have been operating from old survival strategies and ignoring your intuition.
One major sign is feeling perpetually busy but strangely disconnected from the actual purpose of all that activity. You're moving fast, but not towards anything resonant.
Another classic sign is automatic yeses. Saying yes to commitments, requests, or plans the moment they're presented. And then feeling that instant hot resentment the second the words leave your mouth. That resentment is your body screaming no after your mouth has already said yes.
And maybe the most analytical sign, over-researching simple decisions.
Oh, this one's big.
Treating choices like what color to paint a room or which course to take, like they're these life or death missions that require dozens of external opinions, extensive spreadsheets, or just paralyzing amounts of research. That's the mind refusing to trust the subtle body signal.
And finally, that pervasive feeling of chronic tiredness that is immune to sleep. If you're constantly exhausted in a way that rest just doesn't solve, it often signals a profound energetic drain. Your system is using massive amounts of energy to maintain misalignment rather than flowing with resonance.
So we're going to run a gentle, real-time diagnostic and reset. Wherever you are, take one very slow, deliberate breath. Inhale through your nose, filling your center. And exhale fully, letting your jaw relax.
Now place a hand over your heart or on your lower belly, just anchoring yourself in your body. Take a moment of stillness here.
Ask yourself quietly, without inviting drama or scanning, for the biggest, hardest problem. Where in my life does something feel slightly off? Just let one small thing arise, a minor obligation, a recurring tension with a loved one, a habit you dread. Let something manageable float into your awareness.
Once that small friction point is in focus, ask the second question, what have I been telling myself about this? Notice the story you use to justify maintaining the misalignment. I have to do this because, or, it's my responsibility to. That justification is the static interfering with your truth.
And then, gently, ask the final question, connecting your mind back to your body. What does my body actually feel about this?
Pause here, really listen. Feel your chest, your stomach, your neck. You are not trying to change anything, you are simply witnessing the truth. Is there tightness, heaviness, a dull ache? Or is there a surprising subtle relief just from acknowledging the discomfort? All of that is honest, immediate information.
This is how you begin to restore internal sovereignty, by prioritizing honesty between your physical reality and your mental narrative.
Now, don't try to quit or overhaul or plan anything dramatic. Instead, imagine adjusting just 1 degree toward resonance regarding that small friction point.
What would a 1-degree shift look like? It might be saying a softer boundary to the person involved. It might be delaying your automatic yes for 24 hours to consult your body. It might be allowing yourself one small, honest truth about your capacity, even if you keep the commitment. Just one honest step toward the resonant door.
That small incremental adjustment is the correction, is how you restore the signal. You do not need a life overhaul to regain alignment. You just need to stop overwriting the subtle data your body is providing.
Every single time resonance is chosen over a frightened reflex, your intuition gets louder. The more you trust the signal, the more reliable it becomes. Stillness is what restores that signal.
Before we move into our final, deeply grounding visualization, we want to give you a few key reflection prompts. Journaling is a profound way to create a bridge to your intuitive self. It slows down the racing, surface-level conscious mind and gives that quieter voice space to form words.
If you're drawn to it, just allow 1 or 2 of these questions to land deeply now, knowing you can revisit them later. Use these as doorways into the deeper emotional and energetic landscape beneath your surface desires.
1. What has my inner voice, that subtle feeling of rightness or resistance, been trying to tell me lately that I have been too busy to hear?
2. Where in my life do I feel a gentle magnetic pull instead of a forceful, required pressure?
3. What desire keeps returning, lingering persistently, even when I ignore it, rationalize it away, or try to push it down with other tasks?
4. When do I feel most undeniably like myself? Think about the environments, the people, or the actions that generate maximum coherence and minimum effort.
And finally, a question we keep returning to. 5. What would feel like coming home right now?
Write without censoring your response. Let your hand move faster than your analyzing mind. If you feel stuck, just write "I don't know" over and over until the truth begins to appear. That process of honest seeking is the act of listening.
And if you'd appreciate these kinds of gentle, weekly check-ins, we send out prompts and reflections like these in our Vibe Letter. It's designed to be a quiet, non-urgent note in your inbox that helps you pause and realign in the middle of real life. You can find the link to subscribe in the show notes.
Now, let's anchor all of this teaching somatically. Everything we've discussed, the tuning fork, interoception, the difference between contraction and expansion, is building toward this final moment of integration.
This is a safe space for your nervous system to fully soften, allowing your intuition to communicate clearly in its native language of pure feeling.
If you're safely situated, gently close your eyes now. If not, just soften your gaze and let your attention drift completely inward.
Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose, gathering peace, and let it out like a long, soft sigh, releasing any last trace of resistance or urgency.
Imagine yourself walking a quiet, winding, and completely peaceful path. The air is cool and clean against your skin. The light is gentle, filtering through the trees or across a vast sky. You are removed from all demands, all metrics, and all external noise.
With each step, feel your body grow heavier, safer, and more relaxed. Your jaw softens further. Your shoulders are completely at ease. Your breath finds a deep, rhythmic, effortless pattern.
Up ahead, there is a clearing. In the very center of this clearing, you see a focus of light. A warm, steady glow. It is not bright or demanding. It is deeply kind, alive, and utterly constant.
As you approach, realize that this glow is not separate from you. It is the light of your own truth, your own inherent knowing. It is the palpable energy of your deepest yes. It communicates not in words, but in pure, gentle, expansive feeling.
Step into the warmth of this light now. Allow it to radiate through your chest, through your ribs, down into your belly and hips, through your arms and legs. Sense the depth of its steady gravity.
Notice moment by moment what happens in your physical body as you receive this light. Does your breath deepen further? Does your chest feel wider and more expansive, like armor has dissolved? Does your mind grow quiet, the analytical thoughts receding into the background? This physical experience is the definition of profound alignment.
Now, standing here in the center of your own truth, gently ask this light one focused question. What wants to come through me?
Do not strain to intellectualize the answer. Trust the first thing that arises. It might be an image, a simple resonant word, a color, a sound, a sensation of energy moving in a specific new direction. Trust this initial invitation, even if your analytical mind dismisses it as impractical.
And finally, ask the light to place a symbolic object into your hands. This symbol represents your next true step. It might be a seed, representing a new creative beginning, a small, perfect tool representing a specific skill to cultivate, a key representing a necessary unlocking, a flame representing focused passion.
Feel its weight and its temperature. This object is not the entire blueprint for your life, but the next honest, aligned movement. Let the resonance of this symbol settle into your heart.
And as you begin the journey back to the present moment, carry that feeling of resonance, not pressure, not expectation, as a steady hum in your core.
Take one more deep anchoring breath. Feel the weight and safety of the ground beneath you. Welcome back.
As we gently gather the immense clarity this inner retreat has offered, remember the core transformation we saw today. This was not about forcing answers. It was about remembering that you possess a reliable internal compass.
We saw that your deepest yes does not arrive with urgency or noise. Impulse is loud and sudden. Fear is urgent and contracting. Ego is flashy and temporary. But intuition is quiet, spacious, profoundly grounded. And it feels exactly like that wonderful, necessary release of exhaling after holding your breath.
We anchored this truth in science, discussing how your nervous system and your higher self speak the same language through interoception and the somatic intelligence confirmed by Damasio's work, that your body reliably signals alignment or misalignment through expansion and contraction.
You practiced feeling the difference between the constrictive door of pressure and the expansive door of resonance. You learned to sense the future echo of a choice in your body, and you began the gentle daily practice of tracking what expands you versus what drains you over time.
And in debug mode, you recognize the static of over-researching and people-pleasing, and learned how to restore your signal, not through dramatic life changes, but through honest self-inquiry and adjusting by just one single degree toward internal resonance.
You now have tools that prioritize feeling over frantic thinking. You have listened, you have trusted, and you have received a symbol of your next true step in the visualization.
So let this truth land deeply in your bones.
Yeah.
You don't have to figure everything out by force. You don't have to justify your knowing or your feeling to anyone, including yourself. You absolutely do not have to rush or perform. You only have to notice how truth feels in your physical body.
Because the simple, grounded conclusion of this deep dive is this.
Your deepest yes is the compass of your highest path.
It doesn't push you forward through striving or willpower. It simply draws you inward toward what is already profoundly true for you.
We invite you today to follow one small intuitive nudge, not a leap that scares you, but just one gentle, resonant yes. Send the quiet message you've been holding back. Take the walk your body is craving. Open your notebook and answer one of those reflection prompts honestly. Or, most powerfully, say no when your body contracts and screams no.
Trust the whisper. That's where the power lies.
Thank you for spending this profound time with us, and thank you for creating this spacious sanctuary for yourself, for your own deepest knowing.
May this season, both internal and external, bring you clarity, softness, and an unshakable trust in your own embodied wisdom. Your deepest yes is already speaking. All you have to do is listen.